You've seen movies about criminal masterminds pulling off the perfect heist. This video is the exact opposite of that. We collected 101 real cases where the police didn't need forensics because the criminals were their own worst enemies. From leaving their IDs at the crime scene to getting trapped by their own getaway vehicles, this is the ultimate list of the dumbest ways crimes were actually solved. 1. Robbing a house during a Canadian blizzard? Bold strategy. One burglar grabbed the loot and sprinted into the woods, thinking the snow would hide him. It didn't. Police didn't even need dogs. They just followed a perfect trail of deep footprints for 3 miles straight to his front door, where he was busy drying his boots. 2. Ego is a criminal's worst enemy. After stealing a car in Florida, this genius decided to flex by live-streaming the joyride on Facebook. He broadcasted the dashboard, street signs, and his own face for 20 minutes. Cops just tuned into the stream, grabbed some popcorn, and set up a roadblock exactly where he was headed. 3. Forensics usually takes weeks unless the thief helps out. During a break-in, a thirsty burglar raided the fridge and chugged a carton of orange juice. But he didn't just leave the empty carton. He left a rim covered in saliva. One quick swab later, and the lab had a direct DNA match before he could even digest the vitamin C. 4. Sprinting away after snatching a woman's iPhone in London seemed like a win, until the victim activated the Find My Phone alarm. The thief tried to blend into a busy crowd, but it's hard to remain stealthy when your pocket is screeching like a banshee. Police simply walked toward the noise and tapped him on the shoulder. 5. If you're writing a demand note for a bank heist, maybe don't use the back of your probation officer's appointment card. A Connecticut robber did exactly that, handing over the note with his name and meeting time on the flip side. The teller called the officer, who confirmed the suspect was actually running late for his appointment. 6. Breaking into a museum is risky. Bleeding all over it is just stupid. After cutting himself on broken glass, a Berlin thief raided the staff first aid kit. He bandaged himself up, but left a pile of bloody tissues and wrappers on the desk. He practically gift-wrapped his DNA for the detectives, who picked him up the next day. 7. School is important, but maybe leave the homework at home during a burglary. A teenager broke into a house and accidentally dropped his backpack mid-heist. Inside, police found a completed history essay with his full name and school printed at the top. He got an A on the paper and a felony on his permanent record. 8. Stealing a high-end camera? Smart. Testing it by taking a crystal-clear selfie? Not so much. A Seattle thief snapped a photo of his own face before selling the camera to a pawn shop, completely forgetting to wipe the SD card. The shop owner saw the mugshot, recognized the local troublemaker, and dialed 911 immediately. 9. Fingerprints are old news. This guy pioneered the ear print. While listening at a window to see if anyone was home, a burglar pressed his face against freshly cleaned glass. He left a perfect, oily impression of his ear cartilage. Turns out, ears are just as unique as fingers, and forensics matched it to him instantly. 10. Hunger really kills brain cells. After swiping a credit card, an Oklahoma thief used it to order a massive pizza feast for delivery to his own house. He didn't even try to hide. Police just grabbed the address from the pizza place and met the delivery driver at the door. He got his pepperoni but ate it in a holding cell. 11. Modern cars are tricky. Frustrated by the navigation system in a stolen luxury SUV, a thief hit the OnStar assistance button and actually asked the operator for directions to a chop shop. The operator politely stayed on the line, pretended to help, and guided police cruisers directly to his bumper. 5 stars for customer service. 12. If you're robbing a diner, bring a bag. This Chicago genius forgot one and asked the cashier for a container. She handed him a clear plastic takeout box. He filled it with cash and sprinted down the street, clutching a transparent box of money clearly visible to everyone, including a passing patrol car. 0 points for stealth. 13. Subtlety wasn't the goal for 2 thieves in France who tried to blow open an ATM. They used way too much dynamite, destroying the entire building lobby and burying the money under tons of concrete. They fled empty-handed with ringing ears, leaving police with a pile of rubble and high-def surveillance footage of their failure. 14. Giant, colorful tents covering a house usually mean stay out, but one Minnesota burglar took it as an invitation. He broke into a home being fumigated for termites, ignoring the skull and crossbones signs. He was immediately overcome by toxic gas and had to be rescued by firefighters before being handed straight to the cops. 15. Using a fake ID requires confidence. Using a fake ID with a photo of Leonardo DiCaprio requires insanity. A man tried to cash a stolen check using a license featuring the Titanic star's face. The bank teller, realizing the customer was definitely not an Oscar winner, hit the silent alarm while trying not to laugh in his face. 16. Porch pirates usually grab mystery boxes, but this guy hit the jackpot of bad luck. He swiped a package that contained a specialized GPS tracker the homeowner had just ordered. The victim literally sat on his couch watching a blue dot move across his laptop screen, guiding police straight to the thief's apartment complex. 17. Nature fights back. After robbing a gas station, a thief sprinted into a dark field to hide, not realizing it was a dense cactus patch. The perfect hiding spot turned into a torture chamber. Police didn't have to search. They just followed the screams of agony and found him picking hundreds of needles out of his legs. 18. Punctuality is a virtue, but not for bank robbers. A would-be thief in Germany arrived at 8 p.m. fully masked up, only to find the bank didn't open until 9 p.m. Instead of leaving, he paced in front of the security cameras for an hour. By the time staff arrived to unlock the doors, the police were already waiting. 19. Mid-crime snacking is a rookie mistake. While rummaging through a car in Australia, a thief found a box of chocolates and couldn't resist. He took a bite, didn't like the caramel center, and put it back. Police recovered the half-eaten candy, and dental forensics matched the bite mark perfectly to his teeth. 20. Silence is golden until Bluetooth ruins it. A burglar was creeping through a dark living room when his phone auto-paired with the homeowner's surround sound system. Just as he reached for the TV, his mom called. Her ringtone blasted at max volume through the house, waking the owners, the dog, and the neighbors. 21. It was like Hansel and Gretel, but dumber. A thief stole a heavy bag of potting soil from a garden center, unaware of a small tear in the corner. He walked 5 blocks home, leaving a continuous, dark line of dirt on the sidewalk. Police didn't need detective work. They just followed the soil trail right to his garage. 22. Never bring a bat to a bigger bat fight. A man tried to rob a store with a wooden baseball bat, unaware the clerk was a former semi-pro player. The clerk calmly pulled out his own, significantly larger bat. The robber looked at the size difference, apologized, and walked out. He was arrested 2 blocks away. 23. Throwing evidence out the window during a high-speed chase is a classic move. Throwing your own ID with it? Not so much. A fleeing suspect tossed the stolen cash bag onto the highway, forgetting his wallet was tangled inside. Police recovered the money, his driver's license, and his home address from the roadside. 24. First aid requires focus. After cutting his hand on a window, a burglar grabbed a roll of paper towels to stop the bleeding. But he took the roll with him. He ran to his car, dropping a bloody sheet every few feet like breadcrumbs. Police followed the red-spotted paper trail all the way to his parked vehicle. 25. Masks are crucial, but so is your outfit. A robber held up a store wearing a custom t-shirt with his own rap group's name and his stage name printed on the back in neon letters. Witnesses didn't need to describe his face. They just Googled his SoundCloud. Police met him at his next concert, in his mom's basement. 26. Smart homes are great, unless you're a dumb criminal. After stealing a high-end smart TV, a thief immediately set it up at home and connected it to his own Wi-Fi. The TV dutifully emailed the registered owner with its new IP address and location. He basically sent the cops a Google Maps pin to his living room. 27. Pick your targets carefully. A Liverpool mugger jumped 2 guys on the street, not realizing they were undercover SAS soldiers on a lunch break. The robbery lasted exactly 4 seconds before he was pinned in a headlock, praying for the actual police to arrive and save him from the special forces. 28. Helmets hide your face, but they don't hide stupidity. A Kansas robber wore a motorcycle helmet perfectly until his nose itched. He lifted the visor and scratched it right in front of the 4K security camera, staring directly into the lens for a solid 5 seconds. Face reveal complete. 29. Shoplifting requires attention to detail. A woman swiped a box of expensive designer shoes but didn't check inside. She got home to find 2 left shoes because display models are often mismatched. She actually returned to the store the next day to steal the right ones and walked straight into handcuffs. 30. Hiding from a helicopter? Don't bury yourself in the sand at a cold beach with just your head sticking out. To the thermal camera overhead, his warm face looked like a glowing beacon on a dark background. It was the easiest game of Where's Waldo the pilot ever played. 31. Nature has its own security system. A Tennessee robber fled into the woods to escape the law, but ran straight into a massive hornet's nest. Faced with a choice between jail or 1,000 stings, he ran back out screaming, waving his arms, and practically dove into the back of the police cruiser for safety. 32. Physics doesn't take days off. A burglar tried to break a second-story window by throwing a heavy rock straight up. He missed the glass completely. The rock followed the laws of gravity, plummeted back down, and smashed directly through the windshield of his own getaway car parked below. Karma strikes fast. 33. Porch pirates usually get cheap electronics. This guy got a nightmare. He stole a package containing live tarantulas. When he opened it in his getaway car, chaos ensued. He crashed into a parked van while frantically fighting off giant spiders crawling up his arm. Karma has 8 legs. 34. Gas theft is dangerous. Sewage theft is just disgusting. A man trying to siphon fuel from a motorhome plugged his hose into the waste tank by mistake. The homeowner heard violent retching outside and called the cops on a thief who was too busy vomiting to run away. He definitely learned his lesson. 35. If your getaway vehicle is a bicycle, maybe grease the chain first. A Brazilian robber tried to pedal away from a heist, but the rusty chain snapped immediately. He spent 5 minutes trying to fix it with greasy hands, while the store owner just watched from the door until sirens approached. 36. Biology betrays us all. A nervous burglar broke into a house but got so anxious mid-heist that he threw up on the carpet. Panicking, he took off his own t-shirt to wipe it up, then threw the shirt in the kitchen trash can. He literally left a DNA sample, his sweat, and his size XL signature behind. 37. If you wear a mask, test it first. A bank robber stormed in wearing a full-face balaclava but forgot to cut a mouth hole. When he screamed his demands, it sounded like muffled nonsense. He had to awkwardly pull the mask up to speak clearly, revealing his face to every 4K camera in the lobby. 38. Customer service calls have limits. During a high-speed chase, a Florida man actually called 911 to complain that the officers were driving too aggressively. He demanded the dispatcher tell them to back off. Instead, she kept him talking long enough to triangulate his exact position for the spike strips. 39. Physics is undefeated. A thief grabbed a massive flat-screen TV and tried to sprint, forgetting it was still plugged into the wall. The cord snapped taut, tripping him and sending him face-first into the screen. The homeowner found him unconscious, wearing the broken TV like a necklace. 40. Leaking fluids are a dead giveaway. A UK burglar stole a can of bright green paint, but the lid was loose. It dripped on his shoe, creating a vibrant green footprint with every step. Police didn't need a detective. They just followed the neon green brick road straight to his front door. 41. If you demand drugs, know how to say them. A robber stormed a pharmacy demanding hydrocodo something, stumbling over the word repeatedly. The pharmacist pretended to be confused and asked him to spell it. While the guy sounded it out like a first grader, the police arrived. 42. Stealing a car is useless if you can't drive it. After swiping a vehicle in Boston, the thief stopped for gas and accidentally locked the keys inside while paying. He actually asked the attendant for a coat hanger to break into the stolen car. The attendant called the cops instead. 43. Hide and seek isn't for everyone. A burglar heard sirens and rolled himself up inside a large carpet in the living room. It was a decent plan until a tired police officer sat on the rug to take a statement from the victim. The carpet groaned in pain, and the gig was up. 44. Intimidation requires a real weapon, not hygiene products. An Italian robber carved a gun out of black soap. It looked scary until it started raining during his escape. The weapon began lathering up and dissolving in his hand, leaving a trail of bubbles and a very unimpressed cop. 45. If you hide under the victim's bed, try not to eavesdrop. A burglar was concealed perfectly until the homeowner came in and started chatting on the phone. The thief found the conversation so funny he burst out laughing from beneath the mattress. Surprise party, police edition. 46. Some people can't resist a stage. A Toronto burglar broke into a wealthy home and saw a grand piano. Instead of stealing silver, he sat down and started playing a concerto. He was talented, but not quiet. The homeowners woke up, applauded sarcastically, and called 911. 47. Hiding in a swamp is miserable. Lighting a cigarette makes it pointless. A fleeing suspect thought he was invisible in the dark marsh, so he sparked a lighter. To the police helicopter's thermal camera, he lit up like a Christmas tree. Target is the glowing idiot in the reeds. 48. Fashion can be fatal. A New Jersey robber wore his hoodie backward with eye holes cut out. Great concept, terrible execution. The hood slipped, blinding him instantly. He tripped over a potato chip display and winded himself so badly he couldn't get up. The clerk just sighed and dialed the police. 49. Heavy loads require planning. An Arizona thief decided to steal a massive saguaro cactus for his landscaping. He dug it up and strapped the multi-ton plant to the roof of his small sedan. The car's roof collapsed under the weight, pinning him inside with his prickly prize until fire rescue arrived. 50. Breaking into a school makes you hungry. A thief raided the teacher's lounge and tried to microwave some popcorn. He burned it so badly that the fire alarm went off. He was trying to fan the smoke away when the fire department and the police walked through the door. 51. Negotiation skills were not this robber's strong suit. When he demanded cash, the clerk coolly replied, "I can't open the register unless you buy something first." Confused, the thief handed over a $20 bill for a soda. The clerk took the money, dropped it into the safe, and refused to give it back. He left with a Sprite and a $20 loss. 52. Newton's laws of motion are undefeated. Attempts to smash a pawn shop window with a brick went south when the thief failed to realize it was reinforced plexiglass. The brick bounced back with lethal velocity, hitting him square in the forehead. Police found him knocked out cold, lying next to his own weapon. 53. If you steal a delivery van, check the cargo first. A thief swiped a Krispy Kreme truck and drove it to a hideout to gorge himself. He didn't know the van had an internal dashcam live streaming to the company HQ. The owners watched him eat 6 glazed donuts before giving his GPS coordinates to the cops. 54. Motion sensors aren't just for lights. A thief creeping through a dark living room triggered a novelty motion, activated singing fish mounted on the wall. The sudden loud burst of "Take me to the river" scared him so badly that he stumbled backward, tripped over a coffee table, and knocked himself unconscious. 55. Forgery is an art. This guy was a toddler with crayons. He tried to cash an altered check where he changed the name to Eric. The problem? He wrote the instruction with a K on the name line too. The teller looked at the ID, looked at the check made out to Eric with a K, and quietly pressed the silent alarm. 56. Spelling counts, kids. A bank robber slid a terrifying note to the teller that read, "This is a robbery." Instead of handing over cash, the teller frowned and corrected him. "You spelled robbery wrong. It has 2 B's. The man got so defensive and embarrassed he started arguing grammar until security tackled him. 57. Shocking behavior leads to shocking results. A thief tried to strip copper wire from a streetlight but forgot one tiny detail: turning off the power. He cut the live wire and was blasted backward, singing his eyebrows off. Police found him dazed, smoking, and sitting at the base of the pole like a burnt cartoon character. 58. Parkour is harder than it looks. After snatching a purse in the subway, a thief tried to hurdle the turnstile like an action hero. He clipped his foot, face planted into the concrete, and broke his nose. He was lying there moaning in a pool of blood when transit police casually walked over to cuff him. 59. Intimidation failed successfully. A man tried to hold up a store with a chainsaw, which is terrifying, if you can start it. He pulled the cord. Nothing. He pulled again, sputtering. He spent 2 awkward minutes flooding the engine while the clerk just watched. He eventually gave up and tried to flee, dragging the heavy tool behind him. 60. Don't get high on your own supply, especially during a crime. A burglar broke into a dentist's office and found the nitrous oxide tanks. He took a hit, then another, and soon he was laughing too hard to stand up. The cleaning crew found him the next morning, giggling uncontrollably at the ceiling tiles. 61. Aerodynamics is a real thing. A thief stole a giant 20-foot inflatable gorilla from a car dealership and tied it to the roof of his small sedan. As soon as he hit 40 mph, the wind resistance turned the ape into a massive sail, dragging his car off the road and into a ditch. He was found trying to untie the knots. 62. Choose your victims wisely. A trespasser broke into a zoo and tried to steal a penguin, thinking it would be a cute pet. He didn't know penguins have razor-sharp beaks and bad attitudes. The bird bit him deeply on the hand and squawked until security arrived. He was treated for wounds and stupidity. 63. It looked like an easy score, but it was a trap. A car thief hopped into a vehicle left running with the keys inside, not realizing it was a police bait car. The moment he closed the door, the engine died, the doors auto-locked, and the radio started blasting the cops' theme song until officers walked over. 64. Always untie the boat before you steal it. A criminal jumped into a speedboat, gunned the engine, and expected a cinematic getaway. Instead, the rope held fast, snapping the boat backward like a yo-yo. It tangled in the propeller, leaving him drifting in circles 10 feet from the dock until the water patrol arrived. 65. Tech support is not for burglars. After stealing a laptop, a thief opened it up and saw the webcam light turn on. Panicked, he put a piece of tape over the lens. The problem? He used clear Scotch tape. The owner received a perfectly high-definition photo of the thief's confused face and posted it straight to Facebook. 66. Fast food and felonies don't mix. A robber was told the pizza shop's safe had a 15-minute time lock. He decided to wait. To kill time, he ordered a pepperoni pizza and sat in a booth. The police arrived in 10 minutes, catching him with a slice in one hand and his gun in the other. 67. Karate kicks are for movies, not sheds. A Virginia man tried to kick down a shed door but put too much force into it. His foot went straight through the wood and got stuck. He was hopping on one leg, trapped in the door, when the homeowner came out and sprayed him with a garden hose until the cops showed up. 68. Premature celebration is dangerous. After stealing a box of fireworks, a thief lit a Roman candle to celebrate his escape while still holding the box. The spark ignited the entire stash. He ran down the street exploding in every direction, looking like a human grand finale. Police just followed the smoke. 69. Winter is the ultimate jailer. A thief broke into a car during a freeze, but the lock mechanism iced over while he was inside. He was trapped in the vehicle for hours, shivering and honking the horn for help. The owner eventually came out with a coffee, unlocked the door, and held it open for the police. 70. Fear implies guilt. A burglar breaking into a funeral home got spooked by a mannequin in a casket. He panicked, fired his gun, and the bullet ricocheted off a metal railing, hitting him in the leg. He called 911 screaming that a ghost had shot him. The ghost got off with a warning. He went to jail. 71. Camouflage requires more than just standing still. A fleeing suspect in a snowy yard decided to hide by posing as a snowman. He stood perfectly still next to a real snowman. It might have worked if he wasn't wearing a bright red jacket and shivering visibly. The police dog didn't even bark, it just peed on his leg. 72. Greed leaves a mark. A robber shoved a bag of stolen cash down his pants, ignoring the cashier's warning. Moments later, the dye pack exploded in the parking lot. He was found waddling down the street with a cloud of red smoke pouring out of his jeans, and his nether regions dyed a permanent hot pink. 73. Branding matters. A thief stole a heavy bucket of coins from a slot machine and immediately tried to cash it in at the cage of the same casino. The bucket had the casino's logo stamped on the side in giant letters. The cashier asked for his player's card, smiled, and called security. 74. Wrong place. Wrong time. A burglar broke into a business complex at night, picked a door, and got trapped inside. He had broken into an escape room. He couldn't figure out the puzzles to unlock the exit and spent 6 hours trapped in a zombie-themed lobby until the manager opened up in the morning. 75. Seatbelts save lives. Lack of them catches thieves. A man tried to rob a taxi driver from the back seat. The driver slammed on the brakes, sending the unrestrained robber flying face-first into the plexiglass divider. Knocked out cold, he was simply driven directly to the police station like a sleeping toddler. 76. Modern gadgets are snitches. A thief swiped a box of tile trackers from a porch and immediately attached one to his own keychain. The owner simply activated Lost Mode, drove to the coffee shop where the tracker was pinging, and made the thief's pocket beep loudly until the cops arrived. 77. Man versus machine, and the machine won. A Georgia thief tried to break into a vending machine by rocking it back and forth. He rocked it a little too hard, and the heavy snack dispenser tipped over, pinning him to the floor. He spent 2 hours staring at a bag of Doritos until fire rescue lifted it off him. 78. Never sample the merchandise. A burglar broke into a bakery and devoured a tray of brownies sitting on the counter. He didn't realize they were special edibles for a private party. He got so high, he forgot how doorknobs worked and was found giggling at a croissant when the owners arrived. 79. Audacity level, 100. Intelligence level, 0. A man walked up to a police station bike rack, spotted a nice mountain bike, and realized it was locked. He went inside and asked the desk sergeant to borrow a pair of bolt cutters. The sergeant handed him a pair of handcuffs instead. 80. Economics requires a license. During the pandemic shortages, a thief stole a truckload of toilet paper and tried to sell it on a street corner. He was undercutting the local grocery store so aggressively that a suspicious customer reported him. Police asked for a receipt. He offered them a 2-ply roll. 81. Speed is relative. A shoplifter tried to make a dramatic getaway on the store's electric mobility scooter. He hit top speed, about 3 miles per hour, while the security guard walked briskly beside him, asking him to please step off the vehicle. The slow-motion chase ended when the battery died 5 feet from the curb. 82. If you want to disappear, don't drive a highlighter. A London thief stole a rare neon yellow Porsche. It was literally the only one of its kind in the entire city. He parked it on a quiet residential street to cool off, but a passing patrol car spotted the glowing beacon of crime from 3 blocks away. 83. Fire brings heat, literally. A Missouri man tried to break into an ATM using a blowtorch. Instead of cutting the door open, he accidentally welded the metal hinges shut. He spent an hour trying to pry his own welding job open with a crowbar before giving up, leaving behind a ruined machine and his dignity. 84. Centrifugal force is a trap. A robber in New York grabbed a handful of cash and tried to flee through a revolving door. He pushed too hard, spun the door too fast, and got dizzy. He tripped, wedging his foot underneath the glass, and trapped himself in the display case like a hamster in a wheel. 85. Banking hours are strict. After robbing a bank teller, a genius criminal ran outside but didn't want to carry the loose cash. He immediately went to the ATM right outside the bank and deposited the stolen money into his own personal checking account. The transaction record led police straight to his front door. 86. Fast food has rules. A Michigan man tried to rob a drive-thru window on foot. He walked up to the window and demanded cash. The employee simply closed the sliding glass window and locked it. The robber knocked politely, asking them to open it again. They ignored him until the sirens got close. 87. Gravity is a harsh mistress. A thief stole a heavy beer keg but couldn't lift it into his truck. He decided to roll it down a hill to gain momentum. The keg picked up speed, bounced over the curb, crushed his foot, and smashed directly into the side of a parked police cruiser at the bottom of the slope. 88. Fashion crimes are real. A burglar broke into a high-end home and decided to upgrade his wardrobe. He put on a designer suit that was 3 sizes too small. When he bent down to pick up a TV, the pants split and fell around his ankles, tripping him. He couldn't run and was arrested in his underwear. 89. Nature has its own GPS. A California man stole a crate of homing pigeons, thinking they were rare birds he could sell. He opened the crate to inspect the goods, and the birds immediately flew away, straight back to their owner's coop. The owner checked the GPS bands and saw exactly where the thief was standing. 90. Never bring a knife to a sword fight. A robber held up a hobby shop with a small pocket knife. The clerk, a medieval enthusiast, calmly pulled a full-sized claymore sword off the wall display. The robber looked at the 4-foot blade, said, "Touché," and sprinted out the door. 91. Nautical disasters happen in canals too. A Florida thief stole a giant inflatable swan floaty and tried to paddle away from a crime scene down a canal. The current was too strong. He drifted slowly past a police boat, furiously paddling with his hands while sitting on a plastic bird. 92. Ventilation is key. A criminal broke into a remote winter cabin and lit a fire in the fireplace to stay warm. He forgot to open the flue. The room filled with thick smoke in seconds, forcing him to run outside coughing and wheezing, right into the arms of a park ranger who saw the smoke signals. 93. Shiny things attract attention. A thief stole a massive solar panel and tried to carry it home on his back. The reflective surface caught the midday sun, acting like a giant signal mirror. A police helicopter pilot miles away saw the flashing light moving down the street and directed ground units to the walking disco ball. 94. Lost in translation. A Virginia man tried to rob a bank using a translator app because he didn't speak English. He shouted into the phone, but the app mistranslated, "Give me the money," into, "I would like to make a deposit." The confused teller handed him a deposit slip while he yelled at his phone. 95. Stealth mode failed. A burglar creeping through a dark living room stepped on a dog's squeaky toy. Squeak. He froze. He took another step. Squeak. The floor was covered in them. The noise woke up the homeowner's 5 German shepherds, who were very excited to meet the new playmate. 96. Geometry is hard. A shoplifter tried to steal a full-length archery bow by shoving it down his pant leg. He managed to walk stiff-legged to the exit, but realized too late that he couldn't bend his knees to get into his getaway car. He was stuck standing in the parking lot like a toy soldier until cops arrived. 97. Parkour isn't for everyone. A New Jersey robber tried to vault over a chain-link fence to escape. His baggy jeans got snagged on the top spikes. He was left dangling upside down, swinging gently in the breeze like a piñata, until the fire department came to cut him down. 98. Some things really don't belong in pants. A pet store thief stuffed a bag of live feeder mice down his trousers. The bag wasn't sealed properly. As he ran, the mice escaped. Inside his jeans. Witnesses watched a grown man frantically slapping his own legs and stripping in the middle of the parking lot. 99. The Silver Surfer Defense. A South Carolina man tried to disable a security camera with spray paint. He aimed the nozzle backward by mistake and blasted his own face with chrome paint. Police arrested a man who looked like a budget robot wandering down the street, blinded by his own tool. 100. Noise discipline is non-existent. A thief stole a snowblower in the middle of the night. It was heavy, so he got tired of pushing it. His brilliant solution? He fired up the engine to use the self-propel feature. The roaring gas engine woke up the entire neighborhood at 3 a.m., including an off-duty cop next door. 101. Greed is the ultimate trap. A fugitive on the run saw a "wanted" poster for himself. It offered a $1,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. He called the police station and asked if he could turn himself in and collect the reward money. They said, "Sure, come on down." He came down. He did not get the check. Okay, look at number 101 again. The guy turned himself in for the reward money and the cops didn't pay him. Honest question? Did the police scam him? Technically, he did provide the information leading to the arrest. I think they owe him the cash. Who is actually the bad guy in that story? Defend your side in the comments. Smash like if you'd sue for that money and subscribe for more chaos.